Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Storytime. This is going to be our last Storytime until February. We have some really fun winter holidays coming up like Christmas and New Year's, and then we're going to be taking a little break so that you can enjoy your time at home with your family, and we'll be back in February with more Storytime fun. For today, we're going to get started with our song. Remember, for our song, we need 3 signs. We need more, read, and happy. Are you ready? The more we read together, the more we read together, how happy we'll be. Big books and small books and short books and tall books, the more we read together, how happy we'll be. Very good job on the song. Let's get started with our first story. Sugar and Spice and Everything Mice by Annie Silvestro. Illustrated by Christy Curran Bauer. The snow fell fluffy and white. The pond was a sheet of ice. Winter was in full swing, and Lucy had never been happier. She had shown her friends how wonderful winter could be, and now they mice skated together nearly every single day. One blustery, blizzardy morning, Lucy and her friends prepared to go above ground. And when Lucy opened the door, a fierce blast of wind sliced through the burrow. "Oh dear," said Lucy. "It's monstrous out there," said Marcello. The mice heaved their bodies against the door to shut it tight. "Too bad," said Mona. "So stormy," said Millie. "Don't worry," said Marcello. "We can all manchego outside tomorrow." Lucy smiled fondly at her friends. "It's a hot cocoa kind of day," she said. As Lucy stirred the milk, she got an idea. She loved how her friends had warmed to winter, her favorite season. Now she would do something special to thank them. She handed Mona, Millie, and Marcello their steaming mugs. "I'll bake us something to go with it," she said. "Brownies?" asked Mona. "Sugar cookies?" said Millie. "Cheesecake?" begged Marcello. "Pretty please, with Parmesan on top?" "Absolutely," said Lucy. Since Lucy had taught herself to skate, surely she could teach herself to bake. Then she could show her friends how too. She scampered to her room, tied on her apron, and set to work, measuring and mixing, beating and whisking, rolling and licking. And when the brownies were done, Lucy tasted one. "Too dry," she said. She tossed them in the trash. That's when Mona peered inside. "Are the brownies ready?" she asked. "Not quite yet." "Do you need some help?" "Nope, all good," fibbed Lucy. Baking wasn't as easy as Lucy thought it would be, but she had promised her friends. So she tried again. This time she made sugar cookies. She mixed the dough, rolled it, and cut it into shapes. But the cookies burned to a crisp. Millie ducked in and took a sniff. "Everything okay?" she asked, wrinkling her nose. "Just fine," Lucy lied. "I'd be happy to—" But before Millie could finish, Lucy shuffled her out and shut the door. She didn't want her friends to think she was a failure. Lucy tightened her apron and gave it another go. How hard could cheesecake be, she thought. Turns out it could be hard. Very hard. Lucy's cheesecake was solid as a rock. Marcello poked his whiskers inside. "May I have a morsel?" he asked. Lucy turned beet red. "I just Swiss you would let us help," said Marcello. That's when the oven went boom. So did Lucy's temper. "That's it," she squeaked, yanking off her apron. "I quit." The storm had ended outside, but Lucy stormed on the inside. She brushed past Marcello, grabbed her skates and her pom-pom hat, and raced to the pond. Lucy skated hard and fast across the ice. She spun around until she was dizzy, and for the first time she did a full-on triple twist. "I can't wait to teach everyone," she thought. That's when Lucy realized something. Skating had come so easily to her, but she knew it hadn't been easy for everyone. The other mice had needed her help. Help? Lucy dashed home and nearly crashed into Mona, Millie, and Marcello. "Help," she said. "Will you help me bake?" "We thought you'd never ask," they said. Mona brought the recipes. Millie brought cups, bowls, and spoons. Marcello brought lots and lots of ingredients. The mice worked together, sifting, stirring, savoring. until finally, success. "Good Gorgonzola, look at this feast," exclaimed Marcello. It was time for a taste. "Delicious," said Mona. "Scrumptious," squeaked Millie. "Unbelievable," cried Marcello. Lucy licked her lips. "I couldn't have done it without your help," she said. "Speaking of help," said Marcello, "I'll help myself to more cheesecake." The mice giggled. And together they ate every last crumb. The end. Let's talk about our craft for this week. Since this time of year tends to be very snowy and it's hard to get out and do things, I remember when I was little, I loved making paper dolls on those snowy days when I was stuck indoors. So for our craft today, I went to thatartistwoman.org and I printed off this snowman template and I made these snowman paper dolls. This paper chain where they're holding hands and you can use it as a decoration around the house. So here's what I did. After I printed the template, I cut the snowman out and then I took a plain piece of white paper and I folded it in thirds. Now, if you're having a little trouble with that, have a grown-up help you because really you're just gonna, what I did was kind of fold half to the center and fold the other half to the center and make sure they lined up. And then when I unfolded them, I refolded one of them so that it was kind of like an accordion. Right? So an accordion kind of like this. Okay? Then I took my snowman and I traced him up top, and the hands should touch these creases at either side. And then I moved him down to the bottom and I traced him again. Now you're gonna have to kind of really squeeze him in at the edges to fit two on one page. And then I cut it in half, right? And I cut out each snowman. And then when I unfolded them, I had my chain of 3 each, and I taped them together holding hands in the middle to give me a chain of 6. So you can make this chain as long as you want it. And if you're having trouble and you can't manage to fit 2, just use 1. Just use 1 piece of paper and do your snowman at the top and use whatever's left to make cute little clothes for your snowman. I colored mine with markers and just decorated them wearing hats and scarves and vests, and you can decorate yours however you want. So I'm gonna leave the link for this template in the description, and that way you can go and print out your own. In case you're snowed in, you don't have to worry about coming into the library. You can do this on any snow day, and you can make paper chains all over the house. So I hope you enjoy this craft. Let's get back to story time. So now we're gonna do a little song. Now this song came from Miss Dana over at Jaybrary, and I'm gonna leave the link in case you wanna follow her channel. She's got a lot of great songs and activities for story time. And it is sung to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, but she changed the words for snowflakes and winter. So we're gonna sing it once and listen to how it goes and then join us the second time. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Snowflake, snowflake in the sky, love to watch you floating by. Down you fall upon the ground, down you fall without a sound. Snowflake, snowflake in the sky, love to watch you floating by.
Very good. Okay, so we're gonna sing it one more time and join in with us this time and see if you can do the hand motions too. Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Snowflake, snowflake in the sky, love to watch you floating by. Down you fall upon the ground, down you fall without a sound. Snowflake, snowflake in the sky, love to watch you floating by.
Very good. All right, let's get back to story time. The Cat on the Doverfell, A Christmas Tale by Tomie DePaola. Once upon a time, in the faraway land of Finnmark, a man caught a great white bear. "This bear will be a great gift for the King of Denmark," he said, so he set off. On Christmas Eve, he reached the mountains of Doverfell. Tired from his many travels, he stopped at the cottage of a man named Halvor. "Good man," he asked, "would you have room for a traveler and his bear tonight?" "I'm sorry," answered Halvor, "but every Christmas Eve a slew of trolls comes down from the woods and takes over my house. My wife and I have to run for our lives." "Well," said the man, "I could hide away in the side room, and my bear will be happy to lie under the stove over there." "You're welcome to take the chance," said Halvor. The man agreed, so Halvor and his family fled into the night. Halvor's wife had laid the table with all sorts of food: rice pudding, pickled fish, smoked sausages, everything that was good to eat, for the trolls were only happy with a great feast. Sure enough, when the sun had set and the night came on, the trolls came down from the hills. What a bunch of creatures! Some with tails, some with long, long noses, all of them making great noise. The trolls grabbed at the food and drink and made a great commotion. Suddenly, one of the smaller trolls spied the white bear under the stove. "What a pretty pussycat!" he shouted. He grabbed a sausage, put it on a fork, and pushed it under the bear's nose. "Here you go, puss! Yummy yum!" the troll sang. The great white bear jumped up and roared. The trolls ran out of the house as fast as they could, each and every one of them. They rushed off into the night, back to the hills. The next year, on the afternoon of Christmas Eve, Halvor was cutting wood for the trolls, for he was sure they would be coming to his house again. "Halvor! Halvor!" he heard coming from the woods. "I am here," Halvor answered. "Do you still have your big white pussycat?" Halvor thought for a moment. "Why, yes," he answered. "She is sleeping under the stove, and she has had 7 kittens who are even bigger and fiercer than she." "Then we will never come to your house again," said the troll. To Halvor's great relief, the trolls kept their promise. From that time on, he and his family celebrated Christmas in peace. And as for the great white bear, the King of Denmark was most pleased with the man's gift. He called the bear Puss. The end. Thank you so much for joining me for Storytime this season. I hope you loved all of our stories, and I hope you love Storytime today with our winter stories. I am looking forward to seeing you again in the springtime, but for now, let's do our goodbye song. Remember, for our goodbye song, we need 3 signs. We need time, goodbye, and friends. Are you ready? It is time to say goodbye to all our friends. It is time to say goodbye to all our friends. It is time to say goodbye. Clap your hands, blink your eyes. It's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you for Storytime in February.